That was epic. We got that on video. What's up, motherfoxers? Something funny happened, and I didn't catch it on camera. So let's go up these stairs and out to the garage and explain the situation. Because it's weird. Well, first of all, like you see, I got that hooked up. And it's janky right now. It's a power here, ground there, up to the dash, and an ignition wire here, but it'll get tidied up because there's going to be more gauges in there. But so here's what we did. So before I called Aces, I decided, I was trying to think of anything that I could think of before I called them and told them, hey, what's wrong with your shit? And all of a sudden it hit me, is there a leak in the intake? Because, you know, that is from eBay. And even though everything looked pretty flat, you never know. And so we came out here with a carb cleaner because we had an issue when we were doing my black car years ago where we had a fitting on here that was not letting the intake go down, and found out when we were spraying brake cleaner through it, it you know, it surged. That's where you know the leak is. Well, nothing happened, and then it stalled. So I started again and told him to spray it in there just to keep it going. So he did that, and he ever so slightly pushed the throttle. I mean, hardly any at all, and the car stayed running. And then I just told him to take his hand off the throttle, and the car stayed running. We could have let it idle, but I didn't have my oil pressure gauge on there, so we wanted to get that hooked up. Because we keep starting this thing and we don't know if it's got oil pressure. I'm sure it does, but here we go. Those covers out. I must have missed a spot, and I think the rockers hit one at the top. There you go. I see the IAC here is at 60. They tell you not to adjust. They say to wait till you get it to temp to adjust it. So, alright, everybody, check this out. We do got it set at 10 degrees. Timing set at 10 degrees, and we got it set to run 850. So it settled down. This here, I'm pretty sure that's the temp. They got a ECT is a little weird. I don't know why they got it on there like that. But it was up to 200, and then my dad poured some water in there, and he actually took it down. But there's them Jones mufflers, guys. I think I paid $20 a piece for it. But, yeah, the thermostat opened up. I don't have the fan hooked up yet. All I gotta do is hook this wire up, and we can set it. Maybe I can do that right now. All right, guys, I just hooked up this is the ignition wire to the fans. Fans kicked on. They just shut off. I don't know what that's set to over there. They just came on, which is a good thing because it was getting up there. It's 165 now, 63. So I'm just trying to let it run as long as we can. it's over here. Maybe it's somewhere, one of these rockers here. But look, man, easy to get to. We got the IAC. It's back down to 5. We had that thing set at about 8. It's got to be between 6 and 20. And it's just finicky. It's real finicky. But yeah, go ahead. Toward you. There you go. Stop. The other thing is, guys, it still hasn't solved the problem. Look at that. Look at the pressure over there. Oh, there, stop. The pressure over there goes up when I go to give it gas, and then it just won't go. But the pressure goes up to 50. We got it set to 45, and it wants to do this. So I don't know. Yeah, we had this thing running for probably about 25 minutes. It did great. I sat here and idled really good. It's just, and we weren't really revving her at all. We revved it a couple of times and didn't have a problem with it, but oh, I don't want to forget that. Genuine. It's my original in my car. I keep that in my safe, by the way. But I was just down here doing some checking of fuses here, so. But yeah, we got this thing set and ran to temp. Here we are so far. It stinks in here. It was smoking pretty nasty, but I think maybe it burned everything off. So I did call Aces. Tell you what, man, I was on hold for probably like 10 minutes. Not a big deal. Guy came on, super friendly, super nice, and basically asked me a few questions, which I knew he would after I explained what was going on. And he goes, you need to lock your distributor out. He asked me if I did that. I said no. He goes, you need to do that. I said, okay. I said, I just wanted to get it started before I go doing all that. He goes, I know. He goes, and it's not like he's the one who did it. But he said, I know we say that you don't really have to lock it out. He goes, just do it. Because it's going to solve so many problems. And I'm guessing because, well, he said it's because the computer and the distributor are both trying to, do timing. So he goes, but lock this out and let the computer do the work. It said magnetic pickup in there when I was asking about timing and stuff. That's what I did. So maybe if they put a different setting in there, you can run it without locking it out. But that means I got to pull the distributor out, take it completely apart, guys. It's not that bad, but if you want to see a good video on it, I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna actually show you. Maybe I will, but if you want to see a really good video on there, go to a channel called Action Vulture. That's the guy who works for Aces. That's his own channel. That's how I found this, was his channel, because he took one apart. He took one of these apart and showed you it. You see any videos, anybody doing that with Holly? So it's a well-made piece, man. And right now this problem I have is because maybe a detail that they need to go over with people. Just tell people to, lock it out, or just lock the distributors out, ship them like that. So also this, Foxes are usually like 10 or 12 degrees as you put them to. We put this one to 10 and it was idling fine. But when you lock it out, you gotta actually put it to 15 degrees, and then it'll just lock it there, and then it'll advance it, the computer will advance it and all that. So anyway, let me get to work here. Yeah, you need a punch. You gotta take the gear off the bottom of that distributor. Yeah, so you just take the rotor off this thing. Now I gotta pop the springs off, and there's some bushings you pull off. Then these things right here, which is what advances the timing, these little things here, those come off too. And then you gotta take this whole thing, pull it up, and turn it around. So we gotta knock the thing out there. Like I said, just go check the other dude's video out, man. It's way more detailed than I'm being. So those things just pop off. Now, I think, there's a nut we got to get to there, which releases this. but we gotta bump out the pin down here so we can pull this. So you knock the gear off. See that little screw in there? You gotta take that off so you can lift this up. Okay guys, we got both of these things. See, this is a Ford distributor. If you watch Action Vulture's video, I think he's got probably a Chevrolet, and it goes all the way down, and there's just one gear on it, and you pop that off. Well, this one has this on it up here. So we took this off, not thinking about that, and well, you got to take that off in order to do this. See this? This is the timing you got, like that. See the play there? Well, now you lift this up and turn it and put it in that hole, and now it can't move. That's called being locked out. Now, there's this little nut here that was on the bottom of this. Now, he said you don't have to put it back in, but I think I might. I think I might, but
well, it's going to be locked down.
yeah, it's going to be screwed down with the cap anyway. I might put it back
down
in
here,
yeah.
so it can't go up.
So that's it. You just put everything back. Has a crush washer. You just got to push back up in there. We'll 5-0 tussing that one, and put it back together. Okay, this is after we charged it a bit. Keeps killing our battery, you know, just because alternator can't do its job because it's just sitting here. So it's locked out. We got what we think's at 0. I got the timer ready to get it to 15 degrees because you got to time this at 15 degrees. That means. That was epic. We got that on video.
Yeah, we're 80 degrees out. Could be.
So it was an M80 out, well, 180 out, guys.
Okay.
All right, we set that at 15 degrees before top dead center. Now we hope it's in the right spot. We don't know. And we did everything they said in the directions there on this whole timing thing. Hopefully we're not out. Let's see what happens. They tell you to get the distributor, get that magnetic thing in between, or that wheel in between that magnetic thing, and then lock the distributor so I can't turn it, because this is what they told you to do. So let's see what happens here. I don't know what the hell, man.
And then the piece of shut off, you know, where the hell the other one too.
I don't get it. Alright, we are changing the oil on this thing. And why so soon? Well, I ran for 25 minutes and another 10 or 15. And my brother used to be a mechanic. He's seen my video, told my dad, said, hey, change the oil on that. You guys keep turning the key on. that fuel's got to go somewhere, and that's pretty runny. And this isn't supposed to be pretty runny because we're using the good stuff here. The syrup, you betcha. There is some sparklies in there. I don't know if you can see in there. There are some sparklies, couple of bigger chunks, but I think it's just wear. It just looks normal. So if it was bigger, I'd be more concerned, but especially a fresh engine. And that was just the startup filter. Okay. Sorry about the LED fluttering there, but that's just a startup filter. That's the reason why I bought that for like $4. Now we got the goods. Okay. So, and some other stuff I'll explain to you here in a minute, since the last time I think we were blocking out the timing and then had a nice backfire. But a few things have happened. I'll let you in a minute. Alright, one bad thing about this. It's 40 degrees out here, well, almost 50. And there's no baffle in here because of the Scorpion rockers I put in there. So this, what is it, this old farm shop had this little hourglass little thing that he makes. I had a friend of mine make them at work to put a baffle in here. That was his whole idea, was this old farm shop did that. So we just copied it. We straight up stole it. And Black Sunshine's got one of these too, but yeah, it'll take a minute. Hey, got the oil in. That took a while. Alright, full disclosure, we had a fire. These things, these wires are so long, they were pulled back like this, and it was laying on the thing there. But, see these big rubber flanges at the end of these wires here? That's what saved it. That's what was burning. I mean, actual flamage. And it didn't get to the wire or through the boot. So, we're just going to run it for now. So, I mean, I think I got another wire around here somewhere.
Two sets, I think, upstairs.
Yeah, so. Alright, so the story on this whole thing, what happened off camera here. You saw it when it backfired on us, and that was it. I think we breathed enough carbon monoxide that day, so we were done. Our eyes were burning.
Even with the door open.
Yeah, even though the door open, the fan was blowing. I think the wind was kind of going against us here, but so he came out here the next day and to see if it was 180 out, which it was. So then he got it corrected. He said he started it up. Same thing happened. We locked the timing out like they told us to. He said it started up, ran great, 10, 15 seconds, died. So we come back out here, we start it up, we keep it running, and it finally started idling, but the AFR was 23 to 25, which is super lean. You know, we're trying to get the IAC set. It gets to 5. They want them at 6 to 20. And now talking with them, they say we want it more toward 20. Whatever. But it's stuck on 5. We leave it there. I go auto, TPS reset. We start it. It starts back up. Idles. But the AFR is not coming down. For a minute it did when we messed with it on the second startup. So it was just like, again, we had enough with our eyes burning and smelling enough carbon monoxide. Probably took a couple years off our lives. And so then I called Aces, and I was talking to the same guy. Told him, he's like, all right. And then he told me, he goes, it could be a bad O2 sensor. Okay. I left that in my brain when he said that. And he's not the tech. So he's the guy who knows enough to tell you if you're, okay, you got to do this, make sure you do that. And then when it gets a little bit deeper, then he says, you know, they have to have a tech call you. I got a hold of these guys real quick. It was late in the day. He said he may be able to call you, but probably not. I said, I get it. About 9 o'clock the next day, they called me, and I talked to the guy. And in between that, when he told me the oxygen sensor, I started thinking about it. They said 6 to 10 inches. And I said, dude, it looked like 6. I measure stuff every day for a living. I can look at something and tell you what size it is. It's a weird superpower, but I went back under there and looked at it on a different angle, and right away I seen that it was like 4 inches, and I measured it. Yep. But like I showed you guys before, there's another spot to put an oxygen sensor a little bit down the way, which is 11 inches is what I measured. I told the guy that when he called me back, and he goes, yes. He goes, switch it and see what happens, you know. I said, all right, hopefully I don't have to call you back, but I probably will. So, and then, of course, that whole thing with my brother telling me that, we just did all that. The sensor switched, and now we're going to go at it again. Hopefully. If the AFR is right, we can set that, hopefully, and maybe we're there, I don't know, because it's just, maybe it was too close and it was just getting confused, and I don't know. But we're going to see what happens. And I got to make a conscious effort every time we turn the thing on to start it. So,
Not like halfway down there.
but again, we're trying to solve problems, you know, and that's what it takes. You got to keep turning it on and off. But let's make sure those wires over here. Getting tired of that. Really getting tired of that. Alright, we swapped the plug wire. It started right up and idled. And look at that. But it's idling way too high. See, this is at 5. Alright guys, it's been sitting here idling like this. I got it set to where it's close to 20 now. I'm gonna have to reset that. But every time we try to see, now it's not fogging like it was, or backfiring through the intake or the throttle body. I'm thinking maybe it's learning now finally. Of course, the 160 is where it gets to. I don't know how much gas we got in here. It's back up to 20 now. I reset it. Maybe you can witness what we just witnessed. Just start and do its job. There you go. Now we got this thing. That looks great. This is looking awesome. We got it set for 850. I think I need to go in there and set that to maybe 900 because an F-cam probably should have a little bit more. Because I know my N41, they say it's around 1,000, 900 to 1,000, so I might have to go in there and do that. But there it is. All right, so I don't know what's going on here. I've been reading some stuff and very little. There's people that have been having the same problems, and I found a guy who he's got a similar issue, and people are telling him, a couple of people telling him, be careful of the bottom of this thing on intakes. Sometimes they need a spacer. I looked that up. That's about a $35 investment there. So I don't know. There is some things in the aces and the tuning I can actually bump up here, and I think I'll do that first and see what happens. Also, they told me to. I got a mild tune selected, or tune, the mild cam selected in there. They told me to just go to standard. I never did that, so I can try that and see what happens. But I also can bump the fuel up on startup and after startup. Alright, so go in the wizards. It's the startup stuff, and there you go. I'll go with stock. Yes. Didn't tell me I had to shut it off. But then the other spot you can go into the tuning, I think it was fuel, because I didn't see him. Yeah, so this fuel prime percentage. And the fuel power on percentage is what I seen this guy mess with. And he had this up to like 150. Ah, there we go. Okay. You got double click on it. And he moved this up. I'm not gonna go, he went to like 150. 108, so that'll take it to 15. Save. And fuel prime percentage, he went to 2 something with it. And then I think I don't take it up that much. Let's just take it up 20, I guess. 150. Good enough. We'll just do it little by little here. Apparently you don't gotta shut it off to reset it, so. Mild cam setting, I had shut it off, turn it back on and do it again. Alright, I bumped it up some more. Why does it keep doing that? Alright, this is going to be the end of this because I know it's just aggravating, but we just had this car running for about 10 minutes. And it started and stayed running, and I'll show you what I did to do this because I saw a video about it. But AFR was looking good, the IAC was looking good, and it just ran out of gas. So, but what I did was I went into the tuning here, into fuel, and then into basic, and then down here are a couple of little things right here. So fuel power on percent and fuel prime percent. This is set at is this 150 out of the factory, and this is like 93, I think it was. I seen it on another video of a guy who moved this up to 220, and his car started up and then it bogged down like it was going to stall and it kept back on. So that was the spot for him. Me was right here and it barely catches. And then I just kept adding this, and it caught the last time and stayed running. And like I said, we just ran out of gas. I don't know, I have a few questions for them when I call them here Monday. I'm going to ask them when we set that. I want to know what it's supposed to be on timing when it's just idling. You know what I mean? Because we set the engine at 15 degrees before top dead center, and then you put the distributor in and set the cap on and make one of the plugs number 1 and then put them on accordingly, and then you start it up. That's if you lock out the timing like we got on this. I want to know when it's running, when you take time, does it show 0 or do we move it to 15 degrees? You know, I don't know that. When we move it 15 degrees, the car picks up an idle, so I have no idea, man. It runs, but then when you go to give it throttle, if you don't finesse it, then it bogs. So those are the things we got to figure out. That's questions I need to ask them when I call. So alright, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I know some people give me crap, people who don't watch the videos. They're telling me I should have got a sniper. No, it's some kind of stupid little problem and I'll figure it out with them. But that's it. Thanks for watching. Later.